Hey, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about the Facebook Pixel. It's probably one of the most important videos in this training series because if you don't set up the Pixel correctly, you're going to have a lot of headaches later and probably even end up wasting some money. So pay close attention to this and make sure you set it up right. It's fairly easy, but I do see some investors making mistakes on how they implement the Pixel. So the Pixel is just a piece of code that we install on every page of our website, and it sends information back to Facebook, which allows us to then run ads and do some pretty cool stuff. So really, this is the bread and butter of Facebook marketing. If you've ever done anything with like Google pay-per-click or pretty much any other online marketing, you're going to end up using some kind of tracking code. So this is Facebook's version of it, and I'll show you exactly how to install that on your website here in a minute. But real quick, I want to explain kind of the process that somebody goes through when the pixel is firing on your website. So for instance, you have an ad, and that ad might be telling Facebook, hey, I want you to find people who are likely going to convert on my website. So that means you have to have a pixel installed so Facebook can, track that. So they'll come to your landing page, and that is going to fire a Facebook pixel saying, hey, they visited the page from your ad, okay? And then assuming that they fill out the form on your page, that is a conversion. So Facebook will then send that data back and say, hey, they converted. They'll end up on the thank you page, which then will fire another pixel. So Facebook knows that they made it to the page you want them to. So these are two separate pixels firing on the conversion. And then finally, all this information gets filtered into Facebook Analytics, which is the last module in this training where we'll kind of go through how to get some of that data and help you optimize this. That we would call this a funnel. So help optimize this funnel to lower the cost per click and get your ad in front of the right people at the right time. Okay? So the last step, let's get this pixel installed. So I'm going to hop out of here. I'm a big fan of Carrot. So you can install the pixel on, if you have a Wix, a Weebly, Squarespace, even if you have your own custom WordPress site. Let me go ahead and pull up one of my custom WordPress sites. Actually, the one that you're viewing this training on is a custom WordPress site. And I use a plugin called O Scripts or something like that. So let me log in real quick and I'll pull that up. But as I'm doing that, we can work over here. So this is in Facebook. Once you log in, I'm in the Business Manager. You can come here to Pixels, or if those are my most frequently visited selections under the main navigation. So you might have to come down here to All Tools and then Pixels. So once that loads, okay, cool. So now that we're in here in the Pixels, we can, I already have this installed, so it's working. So you can see the page views, the lead completed. We'll go over that here in just a minute, but I want to get you guys started. So details. Sorry, my Facebook's loading a little slow today. And this right here is telling you it's installed correctly, which is cool, but assuming you're installing it for the first time, we'll go to Setup. We're going to manually install the code ourselves. I've used the integration with Tag Manager. It works great. If you have a developer, if you're using your own custom WordPress site, you can just email them the instructions from right there. But assuming we're installing it ourselves, so it's just telling you right here that it needs to go in the head of your website. And you can just copy it, come over to your Carrot website, go to Settings, Analytics and Scripts, and then paste it right here in the head. And that's it. This will install it on every page of your Carrot website, which is perfect. There's nothing else that needs to be done. Okay? If you came back here, you'll see it would be red if you're installing it for the first time. So now it should say green. You might have to refresh the page so it fires the pixel, right? Because that's how it's telling you it's active. And then from here, we're going to go into the custom events, which is what I was showing you on that illustration on the thank you page and the step 2 page. Okay, so these are Facebook's conversion events. So they give us some by default that we can put on our page to let Facebook know when a user takes a suggested action. So my favorite one is to use this little piece of code here. So it's a lead. And back on my Carrot site, if I go to the step 2 page, I can come down here into the tracking code section and paste that, okay? And that's it. So this is saying anybody that makes it to my preferred buyer page gets a pixel that fires telling them they're a lead. And then what I can do is the completed registration page. I want to use a separate pixel for a couple reasons. One, if I have the same pixel, it can mess up my reporting data. So it would fire 2 pixels for technically 1 lead. And then also I can't take follow-up actions if it's the same pixel. So what does that mean? If they fill out a step 1 form and then they don't fill out the step 2, I can see that they don't have this second pixel being fired, and I can retarget them and say, hey, come back and finish your form, or can we give you some more information to help you along your decision process, something like that. So on the step 1, when they come to the step 2 page, I'm putting the lead tracking, and then here I'm putting the completed registration when they make it all the way through my funnel. And finally I'll click update. Okay? So that is it. The pixel has now been installed on both the entire site as well as on the pages that I need them to be on to convert. Okay? And if you're not using Carrot, you could use something called, let's see, this Sogo add script header and footer, and it does essentially the same thing where it allows you to put footers on each page of your WordPress website, and you can kind of customize it there. So I recommend this tool if you're not using Carrot. All right, and in the next video, we're going to talk about how to test the pixel to make sure you've set it up all correctly, okay? All right, so we'll see you there in a minute.